Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk Today, where we dive into the latest and greatest in technology. I'm your host, and today we're diving into an intriguing tool called Beam. Now, if you've ever found yourself transferring files or data between machines, you know it can sometimes feel like a headache. Well, Beam is here to make that process smoother and even a bit more interesting. So what is Beam exactly? Think of it like a specialized SSH server, a bit like a traffic cop for your data. Essentially, it receives information on one connection and then forwards it to another. This means, rather than just sending files, you can also transfer pipes and other data streams. It's almost like being able to send a letter and a postcard all at once, if you will. One of the standout features of Beam is that it doesn't require any binary installations. All you really need is an SSH client on both machines. And let's not forget that built-in authentication, which is really comforting when you're moving sensitive information. Now, how do you actually use this nifty service? If you're on the sending end, all you need to do is pipe your content through the command line, like so: echo hello ssh beam.ssh.camp send. Easy, right? Then on the receiving end, you just read the contents using a simple command that includes receive. There's a nice technology twist because it identifies your session using your public key. If you have the same SSH keys on both ends, you're good to go without needing to specify extra details. But what if the keys differ? Don't worry. Beam allows you to use a random channel name, giving you flexibility. Imagine trying to find a way to send a secret message without needing a code every time. It's kind of like that. Now, just a heads up, there are a few caveats to keep in mind. For instance, if you're not connected through the closest available SSH server, you might experience lower transfer rates. It's hosted in Falkenstein, Germany, so if that's not local for you, your data could take a little scenic route. Plus, while Beam does encrypt data during the transfer, it decrypts it temporarily before it gets forwarded. This means that for sensitive information, it's a good idea to encrypt your data before sending it through Beam. Speaking of nuances, there are also some technicalities with output buffering that could affect your data flow, especially if you're using Python. By default, Python buffers output, but you can bypass that with a quick command switch. It's kind of like making sure your faucet is fully turned on so you get all the water out when you need it right away. Now, if you're feeling adventurous, hosting your own Beam server is a straightforward process. It doesn't require complicated installations or additional services. You can either build a binary yourself or use a Docker image. For most of us, Docker makes it easy. Before we wrap up, let me ask you this. Has anyone out there had an interesting experience with file transfers or unique tools like Beam? I'm curious to hear your stories. So to sum it up, Beam is a fast and flexible option for transferring data streams securely and easily. Whether you're sending files or pipes, it offers an efficient method with the added bonus of SSH's security features. Thanks for joining me today on Tech Talk Today. If you found this information useful, don't hesitate to share it with someone who might be looking for an easier way to transfer data. Until next time, keep exploring and innovating.